Hey, good evening, Talkin' Fight fans. How are you? It's Neil the Deal here on Monday Boxing. Monday Talkin' Fight Boxing. That's what we do. That's our number one is the boxing. And guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for all the likes. Like, share, all that jazz has been rippingly amazing, is if that's a word, rippingly. But it is really getting somewhere. The traction is crazy. Even I believe even the professionals really are starting to listen to me, because everywhere I turn, I see like all kinds of stuff we've been talking about, and now they're implementing it and they're talking about it. Even the big sports writers. So that somebody must be on to me. I guess somebody is on to me. So, anyways, let's get right into our boxing segment for Monday. Thanks again for coming out here at talkandfight.com. And I'm going to be talking tonight about the fight on the weekend, the past weekend, the fight that I've been waiting for over a year. It went down in New York City, Madison Square Gardens Theater. That was the Teofimo Lopez and George Camboso Jr. fight. Well, guys, I watched every inch of it. I hope you guys did too, and it didn't disappoint. It was right to the wire, literally. I was a little surprised at the end with the outcome, because I always thought that Teofimo was the best, the biggest, and the baddest, and the best up and comer, pretty much anywhere. And I did not think he was going to lose this one, but I knew there was a chance. And if you look at my past episode with George Camboso Jr., guys, if you go back, I inspected George, and I really liked George's situation back then, being the Oceanic champion and all, the Thunder from Down Under, as we talked about. He is now the most famous boxer in Australian history. Good on you, George. God bless you, dude. You showed up, you did the job, and I'm really proud of him. So let's get into the fight a little more. All right, so basically, right from the start, guys, you could see that Teofimo was quite the bigger man, size wise. He had to cut a lot of weight. He always does have to cut a lot of weight before these fights, because he's getting to the point where it's actually affecting his ability to move forward in that division and keep. It probably was one of the factors involved in his demise that night. So the cutting of weight was hurt him a bit. He was the harder puncher. He'll always be a harder puncher, but George Camboso Jr. that night showed me that he is actually a hard puncher as well, like harder than I had seen him in the earlier fights with Selby and Bay. But he kind of brought it. He brought it full circle on the fight on the weekend, and I was blown away by his performance. So Teofimo again. Let's get back to what he's all about. He was very confident going into the fight, as we all know, but that could have played a little bit against him as well. Maybe he looked past George a little bit to the big payday, and that might have hurt him a bit. And the one thing that I noticed about Teofimo that I kind of liked is he actually, the one thing that he did well is he had great interviews. Great interviewer. He's good. He's good with promoting himself and stuff of that sort. He's a very confident kid, and that's great. So the interviews were great, but the performance, honestly, guys, wasn't his best. So maybe a little less interviews there, Teofimo, a little more training. I don't know. There was a lot of factors involved, and we're going to get into it, guys, right now. Factors and stuff, and how the fight went, and why it went the way it went. So that's Teo. George, on the other hand, came in well prepared. He was training and training and training and training and training 7 days a week for a year and a half for this fight. He overtrained, if there is such a thing. He was very calm in the ring, if you guys saw. Very calm fighter. He was confident. He brought a fantastic game plan. Now, his camp, Camboso's camp there, had a fabulous game plan to win this fight. And I inspected every round, watched it 2 or 3 times to see exactly what was going on. And he handled everything. I mean, Teofimo was throwing, he was throwing his left, his jab, his jab, his jab, throwing out the jab. And George was knocking it aside, coming with the overhand right. Boom, right on the beak every time. And Teo had no answer for that because he just he didn't know what to do. He got confused. He got frustrated. He literally was frustrated with the whole situation. Now, the other thing that really stood out to me which was fantastic, guys, fantastic, was the fact that the fight was in the middle of the ring. Now, that was obviously planned by Camboso's camp. Do not go against the ropes. Do not get him pushing you up against the ropes into the corner. It didn't even happen once in the fight. It was toe to toe, right in the middle. There was quite a lot of clutching and grabbing and head grabs and all this kind of stuff, but it was in the middle of the ring. So that was apparent to me that Camboso did not want to get into a fight up against the ropes like a Foreman rope-a-dope Ali type thing. But that was a fantastic way to deal with Teo. Now, in the fight, if you guys watched it, Teo was knocked down early. I believe it was the second round. He actually got knocked down. He got right back up, but it's only the second time that he's ever been knocked down in a fight. And there's some video about. I'm gonna mention it now because we're talking about him getting knocked down. Because I'm like, really, how does the guy get knocked down? I don't know, but I did some research in regards to that situation, and you know what? Sparring 2 months before this fight, 2 months before this fight, he was sparring with Jose Benavidez, a kid out of his camp, David Benavidez' brother. We talked about Jose and David on earlier episodes, and I'm telling you, it was a problem. So the guy that came out, his name was Jose Velasquez, I believe. Valenzuela, something of this sort. It's a kid out of, guys, check this out, a kid out of the Benavidez camp. So they wanted him to come out. Excuse me, guys. Oh, here we go. Here's my Toronto Maple Leaf koozie, my favorite koozie. So thought I'd show you that. So he came. He started sparring with Teo, and what happened was he kind of he kind of was nailing him hard. And the next thing you know, Teo went down. This is in sparring. Now, that infuriated Teo's father. And apparently he got into a big argument with Jose Benavidez in regards to that. And it was crazy. Now, it's not his fault. They hired him to be a sparring partner for Teo. It happened. But they basically were blaming them for something that he didn't really have anything to do with. He was just doing what he was asked to do. He was getting paid, so he did it. So you can't really give him any bad publicity on that. The kid that did it, he's only 19 or 20. He's an up and comer. I believe he's 6-0 or something of that sort right now. But look out for this guy. I believe his name is Jose Valenzuela or something of that sort. So we'll look more into that. If you guys got any comments about that, let me know. Maybe Vasquez. But it was a bad scene for them. Now, in the fight, George did himself get knocked down. Teo knocked him down. I think it was the 8th round or 9th round. So they both had a knockdown. George got right back up and continued to fight in the middle of the ring, which was fantastic. It did hurt him. He did get hurt, but he knows this is his big chance to become the unified lightweight world champion instantly and take care of his family and friends for the rest of their lives. And that's what he did. He got up and he just continued to fight. He around, I believe it was the 10th round, he cut Teofimo Lopez badly, a very bad cut. I was shocked because I've never seen Teo cut like that. And if you guys haven't seen the fight, or the guys that did watch the fight, it was he had to go get checked out by the doctors a couple of times, and they were pretty concerned about that cut, and it was bleeding profusely. So the fight kept going on. Great fight, lots of blood. All of a sudden, they come to the championship rounds. It's basically an even fight. All right. So the 11th round, even round in my mind, pretty even. There's no definitive winner. Now, the 12th round comes and final round. Guys, Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko in round 12, okay, of that fight. So I assumed he was going to come out and do the same thing in round 12, and he did not. He actually, in my opinion, he lost round 12, and that is the reason why he lost the fight. That's the only reason why, because it was so close. I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that, really. But he won that championship round, Camboso. Nice work, George. I'm super proud of you, man. That was killer. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Like, honestly, I was like, let's go, let's give her. You know what I mean? So now, where do they go from there? Really, what do they do now? Teo doesn't have any belts, and George has all the belts. So I'm sure there's got to be a rematch clause because there just has to be. All right. So I'm going to predict there's going to be a Lopez Camboso Jr. rematch, fight two. Who knows when it'll be? It could be after, say, Camboso has one defense against a guy like, say, Devin Haney. All right. But Devin Haney is fighting this weekend. So that could all change. And we're going to talk about that after this, guys. Moving forward in the show, we're going to talk about the fights coming up this weekend. But as far as I see, if Haney doesn't fight Camboso, it's going to be Teo and Camboso Jr. 2. And my prediction on that one, well, we'll find out closer to the match. Okay, so that's all I got for the fight. George Camboso ends up being the winner. He is now the unified lightweight champion of the world, and all good for him. He's now a huge celebrity in his own country. He's the biggest thing since kangaroos and koalas, if you know what I mean. So good on you, George. God bless you both. Teo, I know you're coming back faster, harder, furious, because that's what we do here at Talk and Fight. And that's going to be a hell of a battle, the two. So we'll just keep our eyes out for that one. All right, so let's move on here. We're going to talk a little bit about the fights that are on this weekend that I'm going to be watching. You guys might want to watch these ones coming up this weekend. The first fight that I'm going to be watching this weekend is going to be December 4th, MGM Grand, Las Vegas. Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, on DAZN. All right, again, DAZN is going to be Mr. Devin Haney, who we just talked about, versus Jojo Diaz for the WBC lightweight title. So there you go. So Haney, if he retains the title, is going to fight Camboso Jr. for all the titles, even more titles in the lightweight division. So that is going to be what I'm watching. You guys want to watch that one. Devin Haney is a hell of a fighter, fantastic fighter, and moving on towards either one of Teo, even if maybe it's Devin Haney against Teofimo Lopez. We don't know. So we'll see what happens with that, but that's going to be a great fight. Then on Saturday night, I believe December 5th, Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, United States. We got Al Heyman's PBC on Showtime and pay-per-view. We got another killer fight. This is a monster of a fight. Gervonta, the Tank Davis, all right, versus Isaac Cruz, all right, WBA regular lightweight title. So these are two huge, I'm talking really big fights and really big guests. You know what I mean? All right. And on the undercard of that one, we also have another guy that I had an episode about a little while ago, Stefan Fundora. Fundora. I love Fundora. He's fighting Sergio Garcia in the super welterweight division, and that's a fight you might want to watch. Fundura is a serious cat. He's got some super gumption in his shots, his punches. Very smart fighter, excellent footwork, like these other guys. So these are going to be some great fights, guys. Check them out. Don't forget, we're going to be back on Wednesday. Talkinfight.com. We're going to be doing Neil the Deal show, NFL. All right, little bit of tips, and we'll go through my picks for the week on Wednesday, and then of course we have the NHL talkinfight.com Neil the Deal show NHL on Fridays. Wednesday 8 p.m. Friday 8:30. Hope to see you there. Thanks for coming out, and I want to say a couple of shout outs. Lori Martin's out there. How you doing, Lori? Thanks for coming out and watching the show. And I want to say hi to the guys over there at the Sports Center, Dixie Ball again. Uh, Fantastic stuff, guys. Thanks for all the help. And if you need any sports memorabilia, jerseys, jackets, cups, this and that, whatever you want, Christmas gifts, head over there. Dixie Value Mall. It's a value mall here, Mississauga. And you get great deals over there, especially at Sports Center. So thanks for coming out. Hope to see you soon. Wednesday night, we'll see you again. Take care. Get better, not bitter. And we'll talk to you then. Have yourselves a safe evening. Take care.